All right.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? It is I, Nate, yet again here. It is a beautiful, and by beautiful I mean cold, day here in Atlanta, streaming live. We got, of course, Mooseius wrecking the audio. Uh, you know,
I'm in my kitchen.
in his kitchen, single-handedly bringing down the quality of my stream to, I don't know, that of, I should name a worse streamer. I think that'd be funny, but I'm not going to do that. That'd be rude. Anyway, we got a few resumes today. Moose, quit doing that. It sounds bad. Like you're actually hurting my ears. I run a high fidelity stream here, and you're hurting my ears, and you're hurting the ears of the viewer. Stop it.
I'll be there in a minute.
All right, no, I'm serious. The audio quality when you do that is bad. It hurts my ears. Anyway, what's going on? Resume review. We got a few resumes to review. First one will be a person I don't think I've ever actually interacted with in the server. But we'll get this thing going here as soon as everything is ready. So let's grab this resume real quick, throw it up on the screen. This is fantastic. And this is not. Oh, this is the problem. I ask people to block out any information, and sometimes they don't do it.
Yikes.
So let's get some of that going. Let's get the redact tool.
I'll be here in just another minute. We have a lot of resumes to review, so I'm setting up for a long stream.
Oh, I see. It wasn't completely redacted. Some of it was redacted. No, I see. This person was like a good redactor. Redacted precisely as much as they wanted to redact, and we lost viewers. Moose, come on, you got to be ready before the time to go online. Not by much, just a little bit.
Oh, George.
There are no horses to be held. It's just, you gotta just. All right, very good, very good. I suppose I will freestyle rap for you all while we wait. Yo, it is I, Nate, and I am the great. Nobody is me except for myself. I don't smoke drugs and I don't drink beers, but what I do is I write code and talk into your ears. Tee hee ha ha. It's all very funny until I pull up on your block and start shooting with the gunny. Blow. So that's the quality of rap you can always expect from me. I hope everyone was impressed by that. Anyway. So how's everyone doing? Bad Brad the Dad Stag says, LOL, don't quit your day job. You know, at that time I was kidding, but I do actually have a rap track that I think kind of slaps. I'm playing this up. I'm actually not that mad at Moose, and I actually don't care that much. But this is what real music sounds like. I think this is gonna be the song right here. Oh, this was the wrong file. This one. Yo, you know who it is? Here to talk about code quality. Specifically, the difference between your code quality and my code quality. Let's get into it. I write code faster. Both runtime and the key. 98 words a minute, you just cannot match my speed. Rust, C++, Go, Python, Java, Haskell, Lisp, come on. Give me a challenge, my mental advantage will prove to be beyond. Your tiny little pea brain can't work without help. Your program with Copilot, now that's a code smell. I wake up and install Arch Linux for fun. I code for an hour, the program is done. Your app is crap. Your game is lame. Your site is shite. You are a shame. Everything that comes out of your computer is a waste of time, forged and pewter. On the other hand, look what comes out of mine. It's like a beautiful gold statue, wits refined. My dominance, incalculable. My prominence is palpable. My personality, affable. What do you have? Carpal tunnel? Yikes. It wouldn't be me. It simply would not be me. I don't know who it would be, but it ain't me. I'm gonna let the beat ride out. All right, so that's the kind of music I'm capable of. I'd call that a certified hood banger, a certified slap, a certified. I probably would go platinum if I ever signed with one of these people. So don't enter my crosshairs, or you'll be on the receiving end of that. Bad Brad the Dad Stag, just throw down a surprised face. That's right. Yeah, that is hot fire. Thank you, Bad Brad the Dad Stag. Also, Bad Brad the Dad Stag. Haven't seen you in the chat recently. I mean, it's good to see you here. How you doing? Good. Moose, are you ready? Good, bud. Late night work, can't get on. Well, fair enough. So anyway, all right, playing that one song is all I can do to I can't I don't know anything else to do to pass time here.
Here I am once again.
Here I am once again. All right.
Into the proper microphone and headset.
Proper microphone and headset. Everything's cool. All right. So are you set up, Moose? Okay. Moose.
Here we are. Mic check.
All right. That
Where's
sounds
Mike at?
all right. We found Michael. We've located him.
Yeah. Can't give me a hand tonight, but he certainly has an arm.
Good stuff.
And let me get the camera situated real quick.
Moose, it's 8:08.
And there we are. Oh yeah, I know. Wow, here we are.
All right, what's going on, Moose? How you doing?
Really not well balanced camera, but then I turn off the white balance and that's a lot closer, but that still isn't that great.
You got to spend more money on your camera. I mean,
not much.
Look at this.
As you can tell,
my stuff just gets.
Oh,
I just look better with more lights, and I don't look bad without them.
I actually can't see you right now because I don't have the stream up yet.
Why? But, you see, this is what we should have been figuring out 1 millisecond before the chat, not.
As you can tell, it's been snowing.
It's been snowing
a lot.
Good stuff. All right, let's not waste any more of anyone else's time. We got Coyote. I don't know how it's pronounced. Coyote coming on. Get the resume reviewed. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Am I ready?
Yes. Are you ready?
Oh, I was born ready.
Thank you. The correct answer is always I was born ready, no matter the question. All right. Howdy, Coyote. You are live.
And they are live and muted.
Live and muted.
But, give them a second. Perhaps they're microphone shy. It's always a possibility.
That is possible.
And let's see. Work experience right away. Lagos, Nigeria. Ooh. I think that's a first for us. Orchestrated the deployment of a Node.js Express server to AWS Elastic Beanstalk through a streamlined pipeline process. Ooh.
This is good stuff.
It's a little bit, well, I I kind of don't want to rag on them without allowing them to speak for themselves because they're still muted in Discord. I don't
Certainly.
think that's anything that we did.
No.
I I guess I'll just start ripping. The first one
Yeah, fair enough.
orchestrated the deployment of a Node.js / Express server to AWS through a streamlined pipeline process. It's kind of vague, right? Like when I read that, you were orchestrated, so you didn't just deploy something, you orchestrated the deployment of something, and then AWS Elastic Beanstalk. So I think I've heard of Beanstalk before, but I'm not super
Let's
familiar
look this
with
bad
what
boy
it
up real quick.
is.
AWS Elastic Beanstalk.
And that is web app
Deploy and
deployment.
scale web applications. Upload and deploy web applications in a simplified, fast way focused on writing code instead of provisioning and managing infrastructure. Select and retain full control of the optimal AWS resources for powering your applications. So it just takes care of, oh, I see. So it takes care of orchestrating EC2, S3, and CloudWatch stuff.
Interesting. So
So some
I
of that
guess,
proprietary AWS nonsense.
yeah, is this like kind of a work-like to FlyIO and other managed services, I
I think it's something
suppose?
like that, yeah.
You can deploy your code through the command line interface, Visual Studio Code and Eclipse. Deployment options for deploying your web app include Java, .NET, Node, PHP, Ruby, Python, Go, and Docker. If you support Docker, you support everything, pretty much.
Yeah.
So long as you can put it in a container. Mhm. Unified UI. Okay. So, I think they're still muted here. They are. They're on their phone. Not sure if that makes a difference, but it's going to keep going.
Yep.
So, if you did orchestration, like, you actually wrote some Kubernetes YAML stuff, I would certainly say that. Right now, this sounds like this could maybe impress someone that's non-technical, this first bullet point, but like to me, I'm just like, okay, this seems like a lot of fluff.
Yeah.
And not really getting to the point of what got done. Second line, proficiently deployed and managed a MongoDB cluster on MongoDB Atlas, ensuring efficient and secure database operations. So again, this is like not super specific, so like, okay, MongoDB Atlas, I know, is a managed service. So you could certainly say that, you maybe managed a MongoDB cluster, you administrated one. When you, deployed it, was this like DevOps? Were you doing the schema? What was specifically done? What hands-on keyboard actions were taken to kind of make this stuff happen? Perhaps I'm being a little bit too hard on like these two things.
I think the real problem is you don't want to lead with those things. I think
yeah,
the improved test speeds by up to 75% by removing existing dependencies on explicit wait condition. I think moving that up to like number 3. If you actually worked on, if you worked on the product, I would put that near the top. If you were working on DevOps, then I would say, I see you have a lot of the highlighted keywords in here. Putting something at the top that highlights DevOps, that makes a lot of sense. This is like,
yeah.
Feels like we're getting a lot of appetizers, but no meat.
Implemented a robust and scalable backend infrastructure using Node.js and Express, following the model view controller architectural pattern to enhance code organization and maintainability.
That one should be the first one. That's saying you built backend infrastructure.
I have my own reservations about model view controller, but I can't deny that, like, it's very pervasive.
Mhm.
So yeah, and I could see where a lot of companies are like, oh, well, we're using an MVC framework, so we want to hire someone that understands MVC.
Yeah, I have no problem with putting that, especially as a someone beginning their career, internship, only been working since October 2021. You sometimes you got to just put something in there like that. Personally, I wouldn't these days if I was doing it, but like starting out, it makes a lot more sense to have stuff like that.
Yeah, and I guess uh, KO'd hasn't really seemed to have said much more as to whether or not they want to speak. They haven't actually communicated anything to us by um, voice or text. So,
So we're going without them
yep.
until they speak up, I suppose. Seems like the
Hmm.
best move. Reviewed and merged, we didn't say, utilize AWS Simple Email Service to seamlessly send transactional emails to users, ensuring reliable and efficient communication within the application. That feels like a lot to say that you integrated AWS SES. Like,
A
I
little bit.
understand the padding and I get it, but this seems like way too long to say that one of the parts of the app was AWS SES.
Right. And also, I assume for this application that the database is Mongo. So, this is definitely following the Node ecosystem.
Yeah.
But I kind of have to like read through the bullet points and kind of piece that together. Right now, it's not entirely clear whether or not the Mongo cluster had anything to do with the Node and Express server. I can sort of imply that, but with a resume, you want things to be explicit like that. You don't want people to infer details. You want them to, see the details. And then also, if you led with saying you implemented a robust and scalable backend infrastructure using Node and Express, you wouldn't necessarily have to repeat it, several times. And then as far as highlighting the keywords goes, um, you could, but what do you think, Nate? Because I know what I think.
I can kind of go either way on it. Personally, I don't highlight the keywords, but generally each of my little sentences is a little bit shorter than this. That said, I don't do the DevOps thing very often. Most of my stuff is just backend, and I don't really care to explain how many hours I've spent doing BS in in Google Cloud or whatever. But as a DevOps person, and this looks, at least based on what I see here, this looks more like a DevOps type thing. It makes sense to point out all the technologies you've worked with. So I could go either way on it. I'm
I
not
would just
offended by it, I
say
guess.
don't bold the technologies, right? Like right now, reading through this resume, it's very kind of interrupting, and someone who knows what they're looking for, they're going to see the keywords just fine, right? And if you want to be, you know, more explicit about the skills that you have, you can do a skills section, I suppose.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Um,
That's what Bad Brad the Dad Stag is saying. Put her on the skills section. Yeah, of course the skills section is good.
yeah.
Is there a skills section here? Yeah, there is one here.
Let me see. Oh, yeah, down there. SQL, NoSQL, Bash. I guess you can. I don't know. Capitalizing all of them is a little bit. HTML, CSS, that's fine. SQL as well, but like NoSQL, the no should be, or the O should be lowercase. But
Yeah.
we'll criticize the punctuation in a minute.
Of course, the
So,
bash is a fun one because everyone leaves that lowercase, but it is the born again shell, so it kind of
oh,
should actually be capitalized.
my mistake.
Yeah, that's a fun one. I think this is actually not incorrect. Just this O is out of place.
Yeah, that's it. Spacing between the commas, but that's a punctuation nitpick.
Yeah.
So overall, first one, um,
Yeah. So if you're going
yeah,
for more
just
of an application developer thing, I would definitely put put the more application developer stuff first. If you're going for more DevOps, um, then the order isn't super bad, but it's a little bit wordy. And now that you mention it, I don't actually like the bolded technologies.
Reviewed and merged pull requests on GitHub. That's good.
I don't
If
actually
you
like
are
this one. Reviewed and merged pull requests on
well,
GitHub. You're not required to be technically proficient at anything to do that. You'd be better off if you actually used GitHub on the CLI, showing that you have figuring out some way to explain that you have a robust knowledge of Git and GitHub. But if all you did was review and merge using the GitHub UI in the web, this is not very impressive.
what I was going to say is, if you are reviewing other people's code and merging their pull requests, if you're collaborating with people, that's something that you want to kind of spell out loud, right? That you were working with other developers, you were doing code review. And I can sort of infer that from reading that. Maybe that's not the case, but if that is the case, definitely say that. As far as the last line
I want
goes,
to put one
improved
more
test
thing on
speeds.
this.
Sure.
Saying reviewed and merged pull requests on GitHub is kind of stating a kind of non-technical thing as though it's a technical thing. And in technology and in software, there's no shortage of technical skill. So if you can turn the reviewed and merged pull requests on GitHub from a kind of half technical thing to a very personal thing where you say you collaborated with other people to review code, and maybe you mentioned that it's the forum was pull requests on GitHub, it makes a lot more sense. Brad the Dad Stag, he says similar things, state code review skills instead. I think that really helps to show that you are capable of working on a team with people, and that's very important and something that's sorely missing in a lot of software engineering resumes.
The last thing I'll say, improve test speeds by up to 75% through removing existing dependencies on explicit wait condition. That probably reads impressive to someone who's very non-technical. I know that when I write tests in my favorite language, whether or not the tests run concurrently is a flag that you set just from false to true. So, I guess it kind of, I would probably ask about that on an interview, and I'd want to see a reasonable explanation as to why that was significant, because that's what it was. Then, it's yeah, you got the speed up, but anyway.
Yeah, if you say optimize tests improving speeds by 75% and don't say removing existing dependencies on explicit wait condition, I think that's a little bit better, because removing existing dependencies on wait condition is a very common way of optimizing tests. Because a lot of times you have to wait for something to tear down or go up before you can run the rest of the testing pipeline. It doesn't show mastery, but if you just leave it vague, then it looks better, which is a weird one.
Yeah, leave it vague and hope they don't ask too many questions.
Yeah. Or you can answer it by saying that, yeah, there was a bunch of explicit wait conditions and no one realized that there was a way of doing this based on a flag or based on a, on a signal or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as formatting on the resume goes, the whole employer in the middle of the line is a little bit strange. I understand if you're trying to fit this all on one page, but if you widen or narrow the margins on the side of the page, you can probably say title, date, then what is it? The company and location. That's a nice format to follow. That said, mobile application developer, SafeX Africa, January 2022 to present. Okay, so all these say to present. I don't know if that's just a means of anonymizing or what. But when I see this, I see 3 concurrent jobs, which, well, power to you, I suppose. If that is the case, if I was to look at a resume like this and I wanted to hire someone for a full-time position, I would definitely have to ask him like, hey, am I going to get your full attention? Right. But that's neither here nor there.
Certainly. All right. Successfully deployed the SafeX Africa mobile application to both Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. It's actually kind of an achievement, getting something into the App Store. Utilize the Flutter framework to seamlessly translate Figma design into a highly responsive and dynamic mobile application. I'm curious if you were the only person doing this. If so, then that means you've developed the entire application, and I feel like you probably didn't. Just,
You could do that.
You could theoretically do that.
Necessarily.
Yeah.
So Flutter, Firebase, all these things, they really do bootstrap a lot of functionality.
Mm-hmm.
The practical problem, of course, is that, if you develop an application for long enough, you're going to run into the limitations of these. But if you have to do something reasonably simple or modestly complex, but not too much more, then a lot of these applications can certainly bootstrap you pretty quick.
Yeah, fair enough.
You're just not going to be maybe doing a whole lot more than a nice looking CRUD app, but so
okay.
we have the same problem as the first, where successfully deployed a SafeX Africa mobile application to both Google Play Store and Apple App Store. That's good, but what you want to start with is explaining, hey, I developed the application in Flutter, and I translate designs from Figma. Kind of builds like a narrative structure, almost like this is where it started, this is where you ended by the bottom, and hopefully the things at the top are kind of more impactful. Then as you go down, you get more details.
Certainly.
So
implemented Firebase cloud messaging to integrate a push notification feature, delivering timely notifications in SafeX Africa mobile application. I would delivering timely notifications. I don't like that wording. But other than that, this is fine. Implemented Firebase cloud messaging to integrate a push notification feature into the SafeX Africa mobile application. I think that would work a little bit better.
If I had to punch up the language here, I would say you utilize Firebase cloud messaging to implement push notification features, or you supported push notification features with Firebase. You want to go a little bit more concise.
Right.
And that's your resume is probably a good reference for this.
Yeah.
And successfully implemented Facebook and Firebase Analytics, leading to a 79% improvement in user tracking accuracy for both new and existing users. Okay, so another metric. Metrics are fine, good. But I'm like, okay, 75% user tracking accuracy. How do you quantify that, right? Like, how do you reasonably say, oh, well, what is a 1% difference in user tracking accuracy? But that's still a good thing to say. It is more supplementary, so it's fine that it goes more towards the bottom. Utilized Flutter River Pod for effective management of the application state in the development of the SafeX Africa app. Okay, so... Oh, sorry, bumped my microphone. Again, this is just kind of hitting on like key technologies used, which is good to mention, but usually when someone says like, oh, well, I used PHP to build a website, it's like, well, okay, that's necessarily something you did, but it's not quite an achievement. Sometimes it's hard to cover all that stuff.
Yeah, certainly.
Led optimization efforts achieving a 45% improvement in the SafeX app loading time for enhanced user satisfaction. Okay. Small bit of a language tweak here. You say the SafeX Africa app a couple different times around here. You can just let it be implied, if you phrase it right, that like all this stuff was working on the same application.
Yeah.
And that's going to help people read your resume faster, value it more, and get the right information across.
Yeah, and all, on the same conciseness note, for enhanced user satisfaction, not really important. Of course, a 45% improvement in loading time enhances user satisfaction. Looks like you're trying to boost it up a little bit and increase the word count, which isn't particularly necessary.
Yeah, less is more. And it can be readily implied that, hey, a 45% loading time is a enhanced user, satisfaction. People appreciate that stuff.
Certainly.
Now on to the third. So, full stack developer freelance, October 2021 to present. And this is right away a different color of text.
Oh, it is. I didn't even notice that. I was wondering why it looked weird.
Integrated squad payment gateway for seamless payment processing. Crafted responsive UIs for clients using HTML, CSS3, Bootstrap, JavaScript. JavaScript, that should be camel cased, I believe is the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Designed a responsive peer-to-peer crypto trading platform.
Oh boy.
Using React.js and Firebase. Deployed a React.js application to Firebase hosting. Well, yeah, manage and configure domain names and DNS settings. So, what is the squad payment gateway?
I don't know. Let's take a look. Oh. There we go. Finally learned how to use my computer. Squad payment gateway. Quick, easy, and reliable. That's what it is. Give your customers the payment experience they deserve by integrating Squad's seamless and secure gateway. I'm guessing this is like a Stripe type deal.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was integrated with
Bank of Nigeria.
Gotcha. I wasn't sure if this was like a crypto thing or not.
No.
Okay. So this last one, I mean, the same thing. You want to put the design to peer-to-peer crypto trading platform at the top. Crafted responsive UI for clients using HTML, CSS3, Bootstrap, and JavaScript. Maybe talk a little bit about what the applications did. So, responsive UIs, for all I know, that could be tic-tac-toe, right? More detail, more focus or emphasis on how the applications you made actually, benefited people, what they did. The other ones above, SafeX Africa. What is SafeX Africa, actually? Gift cards to a trusted partner. So, like, yeah, that makes sense. Someone can look that up and see, what that is. And Glee World as well. So I didn't look up Glee World either. I should.
Yeah, it's probably something.
That looks like a pharmacy, which I guess I don't know if I would name a pharmacy Glee World, at least in the United States. But I'm assuming there's a cultural or language barrier, or they are just very bold.
Could be.
Yeah. So, I guess all said. A little less on the fluff text. Change the ordering of the bullet points. Lead with the higher impact stuff first, and then go into the supplementary details as you go further down. And for the full stack developer one, it's usually what we're doing is we're interrogating people, trying to poke and prod the details out of them, but we can't really do that right now. So I'll just have to say make it a little bit more concrete.
Yeah, certainly.
Um, like you don't have to get super specific, but a little bit more concrete.
Yep. Personal
And
projects. Pulseway,
yeah,
music streaming mobile application that allows users to listen to free music, created using Flutter and Node.js/Express. So this one, I'm not sure I would put this if it's allow users to listen to free music. I don't know what the laws are in your area, but if it's not music that you've licensed and have legal right to distribute, I wouldn't put an app on your resume that shows that you ignore music distribution laws. If it's totally fine and you're using open source music or music you've created, then that's fine. But I wouldn't broadcast piracy.
I am looking up Pulse Play app right now. Let's see. There's a bunch of different ones.
So you'll
Pulse
definitely
Play.
want to. It's probably not. You probably won't be able to find it. You also want to make sure if it's a PDF document you're distributing, if you make that a link to a GitHub page or a home page for the project, that would be helpful. That said, don't do it with Pulse Play if you don't have rights to the music. If you do have rights to the music, go ahead. Let's see, Price Wizard, an automation tool that allows users to track the price of a specific item on jumia.com.ng, created using MongoDB, Express.js, Puppeteer, Twilio, Heroku. Twilio. I love Twilio. Twilio is one of my favorite APIs to interact with. It was one of the, dealing with the Twilio API was one of the first times I wrote an entire program that did something significant and had it work the first time because their documentation and examples are so good. Love Twilio. Dermascan, a mobile-based skin disease detection system that allows users to identify a wide range of skin diseases, created using Flutter and TensorFlow Lite. I wouldn't broadcast that either, because stepping into the medical thing as a non-doctor is it shows a lack of humility that only a software engineer is capable of. And
Well, it could be, right? Hear me out. That the models were already trained, right? So could just be, building an accessibility layer on top of, something that medical professionals or researchers have already made, So that's a possibility, but
personally, I wouldn't touch that with a 1,000-foot pole.
Yeah, what kind of makes me all these seem fine. My only thing is there's no links to them, right? So
definitely wanna look at this.
I'm obviously not going to get great search results looking up, Price Wizard for, something that's very relevant to a Nigerian website because I'm in the U.S. All of my search results are going to be, for that. Dermascan, that sounds cool. I guess I don't have the same reservations as Nate, but still. And then sign me in. Yeah, I mean, just links like either to the applications themselves, the store pages, the website, or GitHub. That's what I would really be looking for in all of these.
Oh, I have 3 different bullet points here. Got the far one, far small one, close small one, and the close big one. Make them all uniform. It's just a polish thing. And languages and technologies: JavaScript, Dart, Python, NoSQL, NoSQL, Bash, HTML, CSS, Flutter, Node.js, Express, React.js, MongoDB, Postgres, MySQL, AWS, Heroku, Firebase. This is all fine. Maybe get rid of a couple of these, though. Coming into your career, you're kind of shooting a shotgun out, trying to get whatever you can. So maybe this isn't so bad. Thoughts?
Sorry, I think I found the Dermascan website. Submitted to Hack Violet. There's a bunch of comments here. It seems interesting. As far as the languages and technologies go, JavaScript, Dart, Python, SQL, NoSQL, Bash, all of these seem pretty in line with the resume. Um, you could try and say like, how many years of experience you have with each of them, although I feel like this is narrow enough that you don't necessarily have to say that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think once you revisited the verbosity, reordering the bullet points, um, you why is the dermascan bullet so much larger?
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, it's maybe
It's a polish thing.
this
Just gotta clean that
resume
up.
needs some a dermatologist to look at
Yeah,
it.
it needs
It's
a
got
little TLC.
spots.
Yeah.
Um, Depending on how some of the stuff looks, if you need to make more space, you can kill your darlings as well. Maybe one or two less personal projects, but I mean, they all seem pretty interesting to me. So, yeah. And also link GitHub as well, if you have it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not much more.
All right, good stuff. Yeah, final review of this. I'm gonna say Purgatory.
Purgatory. Yeah.
Needs some
right there with you.
needs a lot of polish. I need to make sure all the styles and layout are the same across the entire thing. You could do a lot to reword this to be a little bit more concise. Yeah, maybe do get rid of the highlighting, the bolding of the things. It's a little distracting.
And really, if you punched up the language on these bullet points, then you could you'd save several lines as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And
And
then
then
with
you
those
have
extra
more
lines,
space for more.
you could put in how many years of experience you have in each one of these technologies. All right. Well, thank you for having your resume featured on the show. I will dump you unceremoniously back into the stream waiting list. So the next one is someone called Chig Beef, who I don't know where they are. I'm actually just going to disconnect code. Chig Beef, I have no idea where they are. They're supposed to be in here. They said they'd hang out, and then I told them 5 minutes ago that it would be in 5 minutes. There's Chig Beef.
Oh.
So Chig Beef can't talk right now. They will be typing responses to our questions. Welcome, Chig Beef, to the show. How are you doing? Feel free to type it. Let's make sure we got our workflow going for reading messages as they come in.
Yeah. Because it's awkward to me. I don't want to just be sitting here like trashing on someone's resume without them being able to speak for themselves. You know what? I take that back. If people don't speak for themselves, I will go twice as hard on them. I will stop being so polite. There you go.
That's very funny. Chig Beef. What a name. All right, Chig Beef, are you able to talk in the stream chat? Where are you trying to type to us? Do you want to type in Discord or Twitch? LOL. Discord stream chat, please. The chat for the call that you are currently in. I think you should have permissions to type in it if you're in the call right now.
Could also use the Twitch chat as well.
The Twitch chat is going to have too much latency. It's going to be 3 or 4 seconds between.
Yeah, I was just thinking we could do that for posterity's sake. But why can I not?
Oh, it won't let you type. The resume review channel is just fine. So the channel you're in will work. So Chig Beef, first off, what's with the name Chig Beef? It's Big Chief. I see, but spoonerism. Yeah, that's fair enough. And is this perhaps a photograph of you, or is this someone else?
Let's say, If you look like that, uh, maybe get into modeling because you have a. I don't know. I think you make a lot more money. Um,
Oh, of course, LOL. Fantastic. Default
so
image.
we'll start out. This kind of format, this is a sort of fancier resume format. It's fine. Like, I don't hate it, but I also don't necessarily love it because it's not super information dense.
I
There's like a
will.
lot of.
Moose is going easy. I don't like this format. All of this, the top third of the page, totally useless. If you're a software engineer, no one cares what you look like. Don't ever put a picture on your resume if you're a software engineer. It's too big up here. He takes up all the space. I'd say go with something a little bit more classic, a little bit more standard.
Yeah.
So let's see. Chig Beef, university student with a broad language experience dedicated to programming, having made progress in areas such as machine learning from scratch, simple 3D graphics, Golang servers, and compilers. Having made progress, I don't like that phrasing. That makes it seem like you're making progress in the greater world and academic doing of all this stuff. And I'm going to guess that you haven't.
Machine learning from scratch, also not really embellishing yourself necessarily. And then what's the other thing? Hang on, let me look at Chig Beef says that's fair, a lot of blank space. Yeah. Machine learning from scratch, simple 3D graphics, Golang servers and compilers. You don't have to hedge, right? You don't have to say, you've made progress in simple 3D graphics. Just say that you're passionate about 3D graphics,
that
right?
works.
Say that you're passionate, you're interested in machine learning, that you like Go maybe, or that you're interested in studying compilers. That's all good stuff. And then also, the other issue with this format as well, Nate, if you can scroll down, is now you have two, or I guess that's education. But you kind of have two blobs of text, right?
Yep.
I could be wrong, but I would say you get one blob of text per resume, as like an executive summary. The two, if I can stop hitting my microphone, goddamn. The two is kind of eh. So, I guess, do we want to start with
I don't mind the 2-column thing. This one is just done poorly. This template.
Yeah. Let's I want to start with experience because that's what my eye is drawn to first.
Yeah.
So, Fiverr. In this job, I set up gigs for people to accept, including providing games in both Python and Golang. I was able to use Fiverr to leverage my knowledge in game development to create a small income based on people's needs. I also tutor students in Python, Pygame, and programming principles. Okay. In this job, I set up gigs for people to accept.
Yeah, that wording is not going to do it.
Not just a reword, but like it. So, were you in essence acting as like arbitrage? Were you finding work for people? Is that what that means, or because like it just strikes me as like kind of left field of programming. Not that that's a bad thing or it's negative. It's just like not maybe the most relevant.
People ask me to make games or any other code, he says, and I make it. All right.
Gotcha. In that case,
I'm gonna.
I mean, that's all implied by freelance.
Yeah. So you don't need to say you're on the Fiverr platform. Fiverr platform has weird connotations. Just say you're freelance. So then, instead of having this paragraph at the top, I would separate it out into bullet points. So you'd say something like, let's see, self-regulated work, hours dedicated to coding with purpose, utilizes full potential of knowledge and practical application, knowing programming concepts paired with teaching them. In this job, I set up gigs for people to accept, including providing games in both Python and Golang. I believe Fiverr to leverage my knowledge in game development to create a small income based on people's needs. I also tutor students in Python, Pygame, and programming principles. So then I would actually separate out the freelance work from the tutoring. So that way it's like two different logical like separations of things. So for the freelance work, I would say something like, made games for clients using what do you say?
You developed games for clients.
Developed. Excuse me.
In Python and Golang.
Yep. In Python and Golang. I don't like Golang. It's the Go programming language. The name of the language is Go.
Yeah.
So I'd say something like that. Then you could say something like managed my time to consistently complete work within deadlines. If you really want to talk about how you dedicated all your time, utilize full potential knowledge and practical application. This is kind of assumed that in any job you're utilizing your full potential of knowledge and practically applying it. So then, let me move this over here so it's a little easier to have everything up. So then the tutoring side, you would say, helped students create, help students, learn programming concepts, and then
you taught students the concepts including data structures and algorithm, object-oriented programming, procedural programming, functional programming, whatever in particular you were teaching them. In terms of the freelance work, manage my time consistently to complete work within deadlines. I would just say that you kept track of your time consistently, because that's oftentimes when you're doing freelance work, that's how you know what you bill people. So that's kind of important thing to hit on. It's demonstrating that you were, responsible to yourself and to your client.
Yeah.
And I like Go more. I want to kind of showcase how I'm not only able to use these concepts but can teach them. Yeah, that's important. So all the more emphasis on splitting them out into 2 bullet points. And then, so I mean, both of these would be September 2023 to present. So that's not a whole lot of work experience on the grand scale things. So yeah, like September, October, November, December, January, 5 months. Could definitely maybe position yourself for an internship with that. Checkout operator.
At the prestigious Foodland. Working with public, working as both an individual as part of a team, emphasis of patience. General work experience. There's ways to squeeze good stuff out of just regular general work experience. Let's see.
Yeah. I'm trying to think about how to...
I don't have my resume machine here. No, it's not on this CodeForge. Git.sr.ht/res.
So
there it is. Hold on a second. I got this.
Oh, you got this.
Yeah. I wonder if I have anything I shouldn't be revealing publicly on my resume that I comment out lines of things that I don't want to put on my resume. So let me just make sure real quick. Experience. So I have my Grid Plus stuff, my data analyst stuff.
When you are just starting out, yeah.
Here we go.
Jobs like this aren't necessarily terrible to list.
Yeah. So excuse me for forcing you to read weird
unformatted LaTeX.
It's yeah. So when I was working as a team lead at the Iowa State Solution Center, and especially when I was working at Alpha Copies, a print and copy store, there's some things that I tried to put on, and this is much less impressive than I was looking at now, but than I recall. But you can punch up a little bit of this to make it sound a little bit more impressive. It doesn't do all that much, but just kind of shows that you're capable of speaking kind of the corporate lingo and sounding like a professional. So instead of saying like, sold print and copy services, I said performed retail transactions for businesses and private clients.
That's something. I would say if you work in a menial position like this, if in any capacity you did something that was beyond your duties or beyond your station, beyond your pay grade, like you were taking inventory of things, you were managing unhappy customers a lot, or you were doing anything that held some higher level of responsibility, definitely add that, right? Work experience like this, it's something that you don't keep on your resume too long after you have more work experience. But starting out, it is good to show like, hey, I work this job and, I work there still, right? Like you've worked the job now for a year and change and they haven't fired you. That's a good indicator, especially when you're just starting out, right? Because
oh, here he's saying, one project I'm trying to get through, have to ask managers to fix the software because the search function is so slow. Crying emoji. That's funny.
Are you actually working on the software like at your grocery store job? No.
I think he's trying to. Yeah.
Hey, if it happens, that's programming experience. So there you go.
Certainly.
Right? And it may not be programming experience from October of 2022, but you can put the bullet point on there,
Yeah. So anyway, instead of working with the public, I would say something like, I don't know, there's better ways to put that. Working as part of an individual and part of a team. Say that you're able to collaborate with team members to ensure, and then name some key performance indicators to ensure, low checkout times, low amounts of people stealing shit, stuff like that. And then emphasis of patience. You could say, maintain calm and professional demeanor at all times.
You maintain professional demeanor in the face of adversity. I don't know.
I don't know. There's
but no more than 2 bullet points.
Yeah, you don't need that many bullet points.
Like just yeah.
Don't hit customers. Yeah, that's very. There's some people who get that one wrong. Programming languages: Python, nearly full bar; Golang, nearly full bar;
not
JavaScript.
To strike this stupid woman. Yeah. Parentheses. You should have seen the audacity of this bitch. Okay. Okay.
Programming languages. So Python, Golang, JavaScript, C#, Rust, C. That's fine. What I don't like is these bars, because I would give myself a nearly filled in Golang bar, but I bet I'm about 20 times better than you, and I'm not saying that as like an insult or anything. I've just been doing it for 1,000 years. And hold on a second. Mr. Vargas Morin followed me. Thanks for the follow. Anyway, I bet I'm way better than you at Golang, and I would put this on the bar. And the bars, this kind of proves that the bars don't really mean anything. There's no objective standard for an 80% filled in bar. I would just put in the years of experience you have on it and go with that. These bars that indicate your proficiency, they can only serve to hurt you. If you have a filled in bar, then people think you're acting like you're more qualified than you are. And if you have a bar that's not very filled in, like your C bar, it makes you look like you don't know C. So we can just totally count out your C experience because the bar is not very filled in. It's yeah, definitely get rid of those. Replace it with like a metric like years.
Yeah. So the years of experience metric, unfortunately, is what prevails. It makes me want to chew on a lathe. That is the status quo. But yeah, do that. And then also, if they're using, if companies are using applicant tracking systems, if you have a textual like 4 years or 4Y, that's going to parse, whereas the bars aren't going to.
Yeah.
And with that, also, Nate, if you want to pull up your resume, I always say, this format is really good, where you talk a little bit about what you've done with each language.
Yeah.
I think that definitely adds a lot of value, and kind of the word I always use is social proof, because it's saying like, oh, well, yes, I've used this language about this long, but also here's what I've done with it, right? This is in like what capacity. It adds credence. It makes things more concrete.
Yeah, exactly. We got a couple of things in the chat. Vargas Morin says that graph things are a red flag. Brad the Dad Stag says should highlight more project related skills and hurdles that were overcome. Vargas Morin says eat corn on the cob attached to a drill. I would do that. And then Bad Brad the Dad Stag says GitHub account for the game Thurtle looks promising. I was planning on demonstrating Thurtle. I like Thurtle. Thurtle's fun. Thurtle should be in an experience section. You should have not an experience section, a project section, but we'll get to that.
I want to also, Chick Beef says Thurtle was so dumb. Oh.
Thurtle was so dumb, LOL. It is dumb, but I enjoyed playing it for the 3.5 minutes that it took me to win a game.
One thing that I don't know how to get across is that I am very fast at learning languages because I am so invested in language design. Oh, be still my foolish heart. I would say that in the summary section. So like if you have a blurb at the top, you can say that you are interested in or fascinated by language design.
Yeah, certainly.
And that, I don't know if it'll pass with a lot of recruiters, but if you talk to a lot of engineers, if they're the ones that see your resume, if they're good, they'll know what that means. But also saying compiler design is good as well, right? Because compilers are fucking complicated.
Yeah.
And that's good. You really wanted to design a compiler designer. Ooh. Yeah, work on some LLVM, work on some Quick. Yeah. Oh.
Work for IBM. Join the Graal VM team.
Oh God.
I met like one of the senior engineers there at a at some programming conference, so I always think of them. Software projects.
Work on OTP.
Yeah. Simple compilers, natural selection simulation, 3D racing prototype, Thurtle, Wordle variant, customizable code editor, machine learning, Boyd simulation, crime data heat map. Make sure to click on all of these. Make sure to make all these clickable so you can go to a live demo preferably, or at least to GitHub if there's no live.
Yeah.
Demo. Crime data heat map sounds like it could get a little political. I wouldn't put that one on there. I don't like being political.
I was gonna say that sounds like a university project.
Yeah.
A lot of these do.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of fascinated by Thurtle now.
Oh, Thurtle is great, but we'll get there. We gotta make it through education.
was this like a creation of Chick Beef here, or was this
Be quiet. We'll get
already
there.
like a thing?
We'll get there.
Okay, okay, we'll get there.
Certificate 2 in Applied Digital Technology. Someplace in Adelaide. This course taught the fundamentals of Unreal Engine, Linux security, and workplace safety. Throughout the course, I made my blah, 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 blah. It's a lot of words, man. Not separated. You've already allotted your one paragraph twice, so I'm not going to read the rest of that.
There is some interesting stuff there, though.
I'm playing the role of hiring manager. I'm not reading all that.
So, well, what I'm reading into this is there's a lot of game dev right there, right? Unreal Engine, entity component systems, Epic's like sort of flavor of C++, blueprints, Linux as well. That would be good to mention somewhere, maybe in a skill section, that you're familiar with Linux. You are, enough to be dangerous. Overall, I would ask, like, what are you interested in doing in terms of software? Just any sort of applications, machine learning. I know you already said compiler design, but are you interested in game dev as well? Maybe all the above. Pretty much anything. Okay. Anything that's not front end. That's a good answer. There might be a way to spin Unreal Engine stuff. I know that's used like freaking everywhere now. So if you did want to apply to game development studio or something, you could try and lean into that. If you want, you can make a Fortnite mod, because that has become like a whole platform unto itself. And I know some game developers, if they see that you have like modding experience, or that you've designed and developed a modestly successful mod, then that goes for a lot. But oh yeah, is what he says. Yeah.
Something OB. Cobb? No, I already said C.
Oh.
Job.
So is this Thurtle
Sob.
then? It's just
Rob.
three
Yeah, it's
letter
Thurtle.
wordle.
It's Thurtle, dude.
Okay. Not as brilliant as I thought.
All right, I haven't found a single letter. J, R, Q. Just pig. I didn't guess a single letter.
You got to start with like air or EI, because AEIOU, those are going to be your vowels. You have to have at least one of those. So as much as you can do like 3-letter words that knock more than one vowel out, that's a good start. E, most common letter in the English language as well.
Quit being such a nerd. Just guess letters, dude.
If you are an English major
Stop
applying for
it!
an English job,
Shut
and
up.
you write a resume,
Why do you
that
take
does
all the
not
fun
use
out
the
of
letter
things?
E.
I was just having fun. I was just having a little fun, playing this little funny little game that Chick Beef made for us, and you had to fuck it up. Now I no longer like it. I'm sorry, Chick Beef. Moose ruined it for me. It's no longer fun. I'm no longer having fun here. This is no longer interesting to me.
Someone wrote a book without the letter E. You should check it out.
Nobody cares. Nerd.
It's a ride. So overall, projects, they should be more concrete, linked to them, of course. If you have more stuff to show on your GitHub, that'd be good. If you want to go in the direction of game development, mods and stuff are definitely cool. If you want to do compiler design, that's probably going to be more C++ and C, which is, fine. If you can contribute, there are some projects out there that are like trying to be C and C++ alternatives. So if you really wanted to lean into compiler design, you could do some learning, try to get some open source contributions there. And then the formatting, nix this whole format.
All right,
This
M. Vargas Morin is saying Rob Y. Oat, so you can fill more vowels. C. Add NPML. Let's code a thing that can propose words and completely solve Thurtle. Let's go. Let's go. Sorry, bad English. I'm sorry, but Moose ruined the fun of the game to me, so I'm no longer interested in it. And I was about to email this to all my friends. I was about to say, everybody check this game out. It's like Wordle, but better because there's less letters. But Moose had to ruin it, and that's all there is to it. It's been ruined. And Chigbeef is saying there is a Thurtle solver that's already out there. So that's something. It's a shame I'm never going to use it because Moose ruined it. And that's that.
All right.
So I'm curious. Actually, you know what? I one more thing real quick before I go away. Let's inspect and.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for. Where is it gonna be? Let's reload the page. Words.js response. Okay. All right, so it's definitely one of these, and then we just do Thurtle methods.js. We got an add keys. We got a guess. Curious. Where is the guess being stored? Got drawn letters, create arrays. Is there like a pick number in here? This might be just type word. Oh, yeah. There we go. I've mastered the game. Get wrecked, idiots. I'm the king of Thurtle. Thank you, Chigbeef, for giving away the cheat code to your own game. Anyway, I don't know what the point was. Anyway, long story short, certainly you seem very interested in all this stuff. I like what you've put out so far. Thurtle was fun for a time until Mooseius ruined it. That said, the resume, your final verdict, hell 3. This is not a great resume. The formatting, you need to change to a more straightforward format. No more big paragraphs. As a hiring manager, I can tell you I don't care for reading very much. The exact address of the place where you got your certificate in applied technology is useless to me. It just takes up space. Make sure you have links to all your projects. Change up these bars for years of experience, and then reword all of this, and then you'll have a decent resume. That said,
this is hell too. There's worse.
I'm the one who decides what what level of hell and heaven everyone gets into. This isn't for you to decide. Anyway, that said, clearly you're new to the industry. Definitely you can get after changing those things, you can get an internship and or possibly a junior engineer position. Yeah, definitely work on it and come back. We will review it again. Chigbeef, let's see. No default pick. I like her though. Chigbeef's got a crush on the young lady from the stock photo. I hope you can find love someday, Chigbeef.
I hope you can find that lady in the stock photo.
I hope so. And on that note, I will be dropping you unceremoniously into, I don't know, it looks like everyone hang out in Focus Room 0, so you can hang out with them too. So
off you go.
Off you go. Looks like nobody else decided to show up to the resume review, so we can be as mean as we want, and they cannot defend themselves.
We could do that. What about Diesel? Didn't he?
You know what?
You want to review as well?
You know what? Diesel did want to review, but I want to get through the other ones first because we did say we would review them, and even though they disrespected us by not showing up, we still gotta do what we say we're gonna do. I never promised Diesel I'd review his resume, so
Um, I guess we could. I would say that like if the people aren't here, then I'm
no,
almost like, eh.
we said we'd review it. That is that.
No, the social contract here is you have to be here so we can talk to you. You know,
All
but
right, this person just allowed themselves to get doxxed, so that's fun. Oh, my
right.
windows show up, and we already had that one. Was there another one? We got Chig Beef. I threw open MRW, Cyber Phoenix. I pulled that one up. Coyote, and then we have Hash Rate.
I'm gonna have a hard time being mean to people necessarily, but
Oh, you don't have to be mean, but just as mean as we need to be.
mm,
Anyway, so this first one here is hash rate in the server. Robert. Real tiny
okay.
text. Real tiny text. Let me get out of this.
What? Yeah, is this like size 9 font?
Yeah, this font is too small. If you got a lot of stuff going on here, either move on to a second page or delete some of the stuff. That's going to be definitely important.
Okay, so we'll rip through this one. So name followed by the links at the top. I like that. That's good. That's a very nice format. Skills, okay, no summary. That's okay. Is it okay?
I don't care for the summary personally. The summary is just like, hey, I'm looking to get a job and I like software every time. So, yeah, that's fine.
I say give me 2 sentences,
2 sentences
right?
is fine. I got no
Like
problem
let me
with 2
know a
sentences.
little bit. I mean, I say let me know a little bit about you, but like figure that out in the interview process.
Yeah.
Skills. Golang, Python, C++, C, JavaScript, TypeScript, Microsoft SQL, Express, Git, React, new bullet point, cloud computing, CI/CD, unit testing, OOP, Docker, Kubernetes, AWS, Azure, microservices, distributed systems, and backend. The pipe separators are kind of strange. I would just use commas, as is typical of English parlance. Listing out all these things, I'm not really certain how familiar you are with any of these. But that's all right. A lot of these seem pretty in line or similar with each other. So if someone says they know Python and C, that's typically a pairing. Go and JavaScript as well.
I don't know that those are pairings. You mean JavaScript and TypeScript?
Well, I mean, most people do like JavaScript on the front end, Go on the back end, and a
Uh,
lot of people that do C or C++ are like, oh yeah, I love these languages, but they usually recognize that it's like way too low level for general tasks, and that's where they write Python.
Yeah, Python doesn't imply C. C, I don't think implies Python. I think they need to be separated out. C and
Hmm.
C++ people put together a lot, but I don't like it. I know Go pretty well, and I don't know very much JavaScript or TypeScript. And I know plenty of JavaScript people who've never used Go. So
But you
I
know
think,
it. Hmm.
yeah, I know every language.
Right.
I've coded 4 lines in every single
It's
language.
right. In terms of hitting keywords, yeah, that's going to do it for like the applicant tracking systems and for the like HR people who don't know better. Skills, experience, putting the title, the company, the place, and the date all on one line. Don't do that. Make it 2. Title, then date, then company, then location is
Yeah.
the format I stick with, and I think that's like the best, most concise way to do it. Okay, real quick, just scroll down to the bottom. Oh, okay. So if they're in, that makes sense why they're not here. Suddenly, I'm kind of regretting being so cruel.
I don't know why are you being regretting being so cruel?
A reason.
Yeah, I see they're in Ukraine, which
Yeah, which is like possibly rolling blackouts because missiles. So
Yeah,
okay, uh, I'm softening up my mood a little bit.
Don't soften up your
So
mood. Just we have a
if we
responsibility to the viewer to make sure that we do the best job we can reviewing the resume. If that means you have to be mean, that means you have to be mean. That's it.
so yeah, if can you scroll down real quick? I want to see how long they've been at this. Okay, so Bachelor of Science, August of 2020 to okay, so they'll be done this year. All goes according to plan.
Yep.
They started with their internships in 2021, so that puts it at it'll be 3 years this year. Okay, so back to top software engineer. Uh, Spearheaded the implementation of cross-platform continuous integration tests encompassing diverse operating systems and binaries, ensuring the robustness and compatibility of critical software components. Well, you certainly don't lack for English
Yeah, it's a lot of words.
competency. Very good words, but you spearheaded the implementation. You could just say led the implementation of cross-platform, or you could say that you led implementation of continuous integration tests that tested cross-platform, encompassing diverse operating systems and binaries, ensuring robustness and compatibility.
All right, hear me out. Instead of saying diverse operating systems, there's like 4. Which ones?
Yeah.
Linux, Mac, Windows. Was it Linux, Mac, Windows? List off those 3.
Yeah.
Unless you were doing like OS2 and Plan 9 also, then you have a list of 5, and that's too many. But
Solaris.
yeah, I don't think you were working on Solaris.
Led workshops to educate individuals on organization security tools, promoting awareness and empowering effective tool utilization. You could almost just shorten that to led workshops to teach individuals on organization security tools.
Actually, led workshops
or you could say
indicates public speaking skills. Teaching individuals is like a one-on-one thing.
Got okay. You could almost cross out the promoting awareness and empowering effective tool utilization. That's kind of implied.
Yeah.
And on a resume like this, where you've done so much, that's going to be like the hardest part for certain. Is kind of keeping it concise, being able to fit everything on one page, which maybe you could go to 2 with this, because this is a lot of different roles, but not necessarily that great
I don't know.
amount of time.
If you've never worked as a full-time engineer, having 2 pages feels like too many. Like 4 roles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 roles.
Yeah,
you can fit more than 5 roles on a single page.
The only exception I'll give is that sometimes if you have done a lot of different work, it's hard to fit it all onto to one page.
Well, then at that point, you should tailor your resume to the types of positions you're applying for if you've done a bunch of disparate tasks. Anyway, significantly contribute to enhancing internal security tools, fortifying the organization's security infrastructure.
How?
I wouldn't even. We have too much stuff on here already. I wouldn't even have that line in there.
Integrated binary encoding, providing more flexibility for users to efficiently register domain names using binary values. I don't like that. Enhancing the overall registration workflow.
Everything is binary encoding. You
could say that you enhanced the registration workflow. Like, that's what you want to lead with, right? At the start of the bullet point, rather than the other way around. The value add first, followed by the implementation detail. In the significantly contributed to enhancing internal security tools, that's a lot of waffle words. If you did code commits, if you patched some vulnerabilities, if you added screening or analysis tools, then, say that. If you implemented some heuristic, the hands-on keyboard type, what very literally did you do to make that better? Because right now, a lot of this is non-specific. Like, It, for all I know, you're running Metasploit on stuff and not even coding.
Yeah, certainly. I don't like the integrated binary encoding.
Yeah,
Binary
that's
encoding, is that did you write some binary encoding scheme, or were you just marshalling it into JSON,
or
or
it's UTF-8.
was it just UTF-8? I mean, if you upgraded it from ASCII to UTF-8, great. But binary values 001011010101001, is that, I don't know how that helps anyone.
Yeah, you
I'm
should.
not sure what that means, and as a hiring manager, I would look at that and go, I like that's a nothing thing to me. Yeah. Anyway, software engineer intern collaborated with SAP to enhance SME sales forecasting tools using external factors like social media trends and economic indicators. You need to say what SAP and SME are. Let's see. I don't mind that. This seems like more data analytics sort of thing. Led the establishment of a robust data pipeline. Well, there we go. Robust data pipeline by spearheading data scraping efforts from diverse social media platforms and news outlets, utilizing both Python and TypeScript. So you've really This is getting a better picture now, but there's a lot of words there, man. A lot of
Led
words.
the establishment of a robust data pipeline by spearheading data scraping efforts. You could say that you spearheaded data scraping efforts from social media platforms. You led development on a robust data pipeline. Well, they're not here right now, so it kind of makes it hard. I'm trying in my mind to think about how I can make this a lot more concise. Diverse social media platforms, you could necessarily cross off diverse, utilizing both Python and TypeScript. Okay, so if you're doing scraping in those, I half wonder if what's it called? Fuck. What's the Selenium? That's what everyone uses, but
Yeah.
I don't. That's not great
Selenium's a
for
heavy
scraping
tool.
because it's slow. But if you did use Selenium, mention that. That's a good thing. That a lot of organizations use that for better or worse. Leverage AWS to create automated pipelines, deploying scrapers as microservices for daily data collection. That to create. You could say that you created automated scraping pipelines on AWS. Let's see, for daily data collection, played a key role in backend development and system design, laying the technical groundwork for seamless data integration. Okay.
So all four of
That
these
means
all sound like you're saying kind of the same thing, just putting it in different words and talking about different aspects of the project. This would be good if you only had like 2 jobs on here and you were struggling to fill out a single page. But this page is bursting at the seams, so you can condense all 3 of those or all 4 of those into one or 2.
This fourth bullet point, I really want to hammer in on this because this is kind of like it really encapsulates with a lot of what's wrong here. Played a key role. What role in the back-end development? What back-end and system design? What system? Laying the technical groundwork. What groundwork for seamless data integration? What data? You don't have to necessarily answer all those questions into exact detail. It's just that the way it is right now, I don't know if what was the back end? Was it Go? Was it C Sharp? Was it Python? Was it TypeScript? Maybe it was Python and TypeScript because those are mentioned like 2 lines up, but I don't know that for certain. And then what seamless data integration? Like you said, Nate, it kind of sounds like it's just rehashing the above points, but non-specific. Also, this is September, October, November. This is like three months of work. So Not to say that you can't do a lot in 3 months, but you know, I think it certainly could be a lot more concise.
Collaborate with the AI
Collaborative,
team to
yeah.
streamline data analysis by transforming diverse analyzers into efficient API endpoints. This innovation simplified our approach, cutting down the need to store large volumes of data and reducing AWS costs. So first of all, this innovation simplified our approach is implied by streamlining and efficient.
You reduced AWS costs. That's what you want to lead with. By reducing the amount
Actually,
of...
I like the collaborated with the AI team.
You know what? You could almost break this down. If you got rid of the above bullet point, you could break out the second sentence into its own bullet point and say that you reduced AWS costs by implementing some optimization or compression that, made it so you didn't need as much large storage.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this thing's
It's
already
good value add.
Yeah, I think this resume is already stuffed with too much stuff, so I would not want to break anything out into multiple bullet points. I think. Sorry.
I wouldn't say that. I would say that's a good thing. That's a really good thing, and you want to keep it, but you have to kill your darlings, right? You have to get rid of other stuff so that really stands out.
Yeah, I'm saying the first four, collapse them into one. This one, maybe to break out into two, but hopefully try to in small in this one. Like this phrase, this innovation simplified our approach. Yeah, of course it did. If you streamlined it and made it efficient, of course it simplified it.
This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines right now. I think if you took the top 4, get rid of the fourth one entirely, collapse the 3 into 2, and then break this last line out into 2 points, and you kept all of these on one line of wording, that is going to go from like 7 to 4. That's almost cutting it in half.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty good. Even that would be a good target as well.
All right. Next one, engineered dynamic proxy leak detector leveraging Golang, C, and Shell for detecting and preventing proxy leaks in the Namecoin and Tor ecosystems.
As Namecoin, can I Google that? Or is that anonymized?
I don't know. Namecoin appears to be
is a project fork of Bitcoin. Huh.
Yeah, I guess. It's one of the most active altcoins. Interesting.
Jinx.
So I don't mind this. This first bullet point. Completely automated. Sorry. Completely automated testing by creating test cases and scripts to ensure the reliability and accuracy of the tool. Integrated the tool seamlessly, ensuring compatibility with existing tools and no new security risks. No new security risks is a ballsy statement.
Yeah. I would just say that you ensured compatibility, or you ensured compatibility with existing tools to support adoption or something. But yeah, don't say no new security risks. That's if that is true, that is, I feel like almost tantamount to saying that you solved the halting problem.
Yeah, I write perfect code. No one writes perfect code. There's bad code that gets into the Linux kernel.
Yeah.
And you're not smarter than Linus Torvalds. I don't care if you're smarter than me. I don't care. You're probably smarter than Mooseius. I'm kidding. But yeah, I don't care if you're smarter than me.
Probably,
I'm
not that smart.
Yeah, fair enough. Neither am I. But you're not smarter than Linus Torvalds, and he puts bugs into the Linux kernel all the time. So no new security risks is quite the statement.
Yeah.
That said,
Enhanced networks.
if you can
Oh,
prove
sorry.
that you introduce no new security risks through some sort of formal validation, then that's great. More power to you. You got to explain that though, because as a hiring manager, I read no new security risks and think this guy's full of himself. That's not possible. Go away.
Yeah.
Enhanced network
Enhanced
security.
networks. Oh, sorry. You want
Enhanced
to read
network
it?
security, actively identifying and preventing data leaks, contributing to overall security resilience. Also, unearth and address previously undiscovered vulnerabilities, reinforcing organization security. Last two are saying the same thing. The first three are saying the same thing. You can
Well,
turn these 5 bullet points into 3 or 2.
yeah. The fourth bullet point is saying the same thing as the above three. And, when you say that, I guess detecting proxy leaks to ensure the reliability and accuracy of the tool, ensuring compatibility with the existing tools. Um, yeah, no, I would just strike that bullet point. I don't think that it's really says much more. You unearthed and addressed. So unearthed, I would say, identified and said and addressed previously undiscovered vulnerabilities. Kind of implied if you unearthed them that they were previously unknown. So there's a good opportunity to kind of make this stuff a little bit less wordy.
Yep.
Reinforcing the organization's security, that's implied. If you resolved a bug,
Yep.
you made things more secure, or addressed a vulnerability rather.
Yeah, so you could rewrite these last 2 into 1 generally. Anyway.
And otherwise, I mean, I want to say that in terms of the body of work done, that's good, right? That's very good stuff. Technically, that's very sound. And that if you're going for like a back end or systems engineer position, Go, C, and Shell, good things to say. So I like the quality and the content of the work done. It's just the wording.
Yeah, certainly.
I can tell this person's really smart, right? I feel like a lot of smart people tend to think in sentences and paragraphs, but on a resume, you have to be like deadly concise.
Absolutely. All right, software engineer intern. Built a dynamic pricing system with customizable templates in JavaScript and Python, streamlining payment monitoring. Wrote extensive unit tests and end-to-end UI tests with Jest and Playwright, which served as the team's primary accessibility reviewer. Built a complete library of reusable React components for user input and interaction. The second point is a little bit wordy. I think you can get rid of some of that without losing the meaning, though I don't actually think there's too much wrong with this Pineberry entry. What do you think?
It's fucking great. This is like so this is more concrete. It's a bit easier to write for, but you built a dynamic pricing system. There's the value add with customizable templates. There's more value add in JavaScript and Python. That shows the technology, streamlining payment monitoring. Awesome. Like, yeah, that's the obviously this work is like a bit more high level and simple than detecting leaks and stuff in Go and C, but the structure of the language is great.
Yeah.
Like that. This is exactly what you want to shoot for.
All right, software engineer intern at Redacted played a key role in developing a web scraping tool that made support programs accessible to students like using Python and JavaScript. Designed and implemented the web scraping algorithms using Python and orchestrated the complete automation of updates. Contributed to building a backend REST API with Express and Node using Sequelize to interface with MariaDB database. Improved accessibility to support programs led to tangible enhancements in academic performance across overall student success.
To improve accessibility, did you add like ARIA labels? Did you add keyboard navigation? Those are things that you want to expand on.
Yeah, and these first 2 bullet points played a key role in developing a web scraping tool and designed and implemented the web scraping algorithms using Python. You're saying the same thing. So the second one can be probably deleted. Unless there's more context I'm not getting, in which case you need to explain that.
Mm-hmm.
Any other thoughts?
No, not really.
All right. Bachelor of Science, major in mechanical engineering. Mechanical engineering. It's a fun major. Experience developing and debugging software for embedded systems such as microcontrollers and sensors. Embedded systems means microcontrollers and sensors. You can cut that last portion off. Experience working with sensors and actuators commonly used in robotics and automation applications such as motors and encoders. I take it back. I don't actually take anything back. Get rid of that, such as microcontrollers and sensors. You talk about the sensors later on, and there's no way of doing embedded systems without using microcontrollers. Thoughts?
Yeah. Experience developing, experience working. You could just say worked with sensors and actuators commonly, or you worked with sensors and actuators. Like, what did you do? You know, if there was maybe a class project you can hit on briefly. This is interesting. This is a bit of a left turn from all of the above, but I definitely think in terms of like working with embedded microcontrollers and sensors and stuff right now, that's good work. It's certainly a good combination of skills, and one that is scarily relevant. Anyway,
All right.
projects.
Heteronucleus Horklump implemented a proxy leak detector, an open source internal security tool bolstering cybersecurity measures. Is that not the same thing as above? Because if it's the same thing as above, you're putting it on there twice, and the projects is kind of meant for projects you did outside of your work, generally. If you did this inside of the work, then link it above inside of the work. If you did this outside of your work, then I suppose you've done the right thing.
I have to look this up now.
Heteronucleus Horklump. And Neatbird implemented an AI agent using the Neat algorithm to play Flappy Bird perfectly fine.
I'm having so much trouble spelling this.
It's funny.
Namecoin Heteronculus Horklump. Here it is. Oh, 7 stars. Go port of ptrace-based proxy detector. And I don't know if this is it. But we got some HTTP proxy in here. HTTP proxy.go. All right.
All right,
and we have main.go.
We got more of these to get through, and we started late. Let's move it along.
Mentorship.
Right. Teaching
good project.
Taught engineering concepts, guided students through problem sets in numerical computing in MATLAB and Mathematica, mentored 10 students into an accelerated intro class, holding office hours remotely, 2.5 hours a week across a 12-hour time zone difference. I wouldn't say what your hours were. It's not particularly relevant. It's that you mentored the 10 students and what you did while you were doing it. So I would just get rid of the holding office hours remotely through the end.
Yeah, you mentored 10 students in an accelerated, you don't even have to say accelerated intro class. You mentor 10 students in engineering concepts, guiding them through problem sets in numerical computing in MATLAB and Mathematica. There you go.
Yeah. And then you got some certs at the bottom. That looks all right. Let's see. Yeah, definitely change this the way you have this laid out to once you've deleted a bunch of stuff so that you have a little bit more space, then I would bring in those margins a little bit and possibly increase the line height to let everything breathe a little bit, because right now I said it 3 times, bursting at the seams.
Yeah.
Yep.
Almost quite literally.
Yeah. Any final stuff before I give a final judgment?
Not really, no.
All right. Final judgment. I'm going to say hell 1.5. As a hiring manager, I'm going to look at this. I'm going to see all the stuff and it's going to hurt my eyes, and I'm going to not look at it as closely as you would want a hiring manager to look.
I also say Hell 1. I'm going to like the experience, but not the verbosity.
Yeah. Too many words. Me no likey words. Also, the highlighting all of the technologies I don't particularly like. It's okay. We were talking about this earlier. I don't know how I feel about it. You are though better off just having a skills section, which you already have. So the highlighting thing, eh.
Nah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Let me. Oh, I gotta rename this one file real quick to not dox this person because they did a poor job of anonymizing.
And they also aren't here.
Yes.
So
what you're saying is I should just dox them for not being here. Got him.
No, not that.
All right. So we have Charles, who has a Gmail account, LinkedIn profile, and a GitHub profile. Dedicated software developer and data analyst with a passion for crafting innovative solutions, seeking opportunities to contribute programming and data analysis skills to a dynamic team while pursuing academic growth.
Is this zoomed in?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm using the good old PDF viewer that comes on the Apple computer.
Gotcha. Okay, and it's like, yeah, that's strange.
So this one, you've made the opposite mistake of the last guy. This is breathing way too much. You're on 3 pages. Get this down to 2 or preferably 1. Looks like you've done this in like Microsoft Word or something. I would recommend utilizing something like the Overleaf website. Overleaf, please sponsor me. That is overleaf.com. They have a bunch of templates here. Good stuff. It's all nice. It's all fun. You can just create a new one and do a resume/CV based on one of these templates. These templates are great. Yeah, don't do it in Word. Use Overleaf. Overleaf, please sponsor me.
Or just do it in Word and reduce the margins. So, Charles Blah, phone, email, LinkedIn, GitHub. You don't have to label all these. You don't have to have bullet points for each of them. You can just have your phone number, pipe, email, pipe, and then LinkedIn, instead of saying LinkedIn profile, you just do like linkedin.com/in and then get yourself a vanity URL. Same with GitHub. So right away, 4 lines becomes 1, and also then you don't have the line spacing between them.
Yep, yeah, that'll get you off the 3rd page and only on 2, which is much better, though you could still probably get this down to 1 if you really wanted to. Education, let's see, Bachelor of Technology and Statistics, Federal University Technology in Niger, I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce that.
Niger, I believe.
Statistical software, data structures, algorithms. Fair enough. How many years of experience? You got a year as a freelance data scientist and 9 months as a software developer intern. As you get more into your career, you'll want to take the education and move it to the bottom or possibly get rid of it entirely. Fresh out of college, education is useful to have near the top. Yeah.
Okay. Right away, the headings here, the separation sections is like very strange. Bachelor of Technology and Statistics, put down the years that you're going to be studying. The formatting, just use a resume template, use one off of Overleaf because all those are very good. And this ain't skills. Welcome to Hell 3 right away, right?
Yes.
What I'm seeing here is a lot of redundancy. I see PHP and Laravel literally copied on the next line down. That is like, okay. I said I was going to be mean to the people who weren't here, and now I absolutely am. If I see this, I am throwing out your resume right now. If I see doubled up stuff like this, I'm like, yeah, I don't trust you to put together a Word document, let alone software. Dead ass.
Yeah.
Like add the Vine boom sound effect.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm overstating my case here, but you can make that a lot more concise. You can say, programming languages, PHP, Laravel, also not a programming language. WordPress, not a programming language. REST API, not a programming language. SQL, also not a programming language. It's in the name. It is a query language. So there you go.
And then we move down to software development. You're saying Laravel, MySQL, and how is this unique from programming languages? Software development means nothing. Data science, data analytics, visualization, machine learning. It's just lists of things that maybe or maybe not you've done. Databases, you've listed off a bunch of them there. MySQL is a database that is not listed in your databases.
Yeah.
Why?
Also,
NoSQL is not a database
BMS
that you have listed in your databases. That should probably go into software development if we're doing that, but probably just get this down to programming languages and other tools. And then you have your programming languages, PHP, JavaScript, R. Maybe put R first. I love R. And then for other tools, you could say Laravel, WordPress, and then you can say, I don't know, SQL and NoSQL systems.
Yeah.
Throw Git and other stuff. Problem solving, strong analytical and critical thinking skills. Not evident from this resume. I'm sorry to say it. Effective written and verbal communication. Also not evident. Maybe delete these lines.
Version control, you don't need a whole line for that.
No one uses anything else but Git these days. There's others.
Also,
Mercurial. No one uses it. And
RDBMS, relational database managed service. If you have used something like AWS or Google Cloud or Linode or DigitalOcean or FlyIO, say that. Yep. Because if you have cloud experience, that's good. The data science stuff, data analysis, data visualization, machine learning. Okay. Data visualization. Are you using Power BI, Apache eCharts, Matplotlib, machine learning? Is that TensorFlow? Is that ChatGPT? Is that Llamas, Hugging Face? Want to know. So I guess with that, professional experience, freelance data scientist, 1 year. Typically, instead of doing 1 year, you want to do a data range. So I guess if it's 1 year, I will presume January of 2023 to January of 2024. And you have it down on the other ones as well. So again, that's like maybe even negative points for inconsistent style. Yeah. But now I'm just kind of being overly rude. Leveraged R to analyze complex data sets.
Don't worry about being overly rude. I mean, a hiring manager is going to look at this and throw it out. This is useless.
Yeah.
I'm being honest here.
Leveraged R to analyze complex data sets and provide actionable insights to clients. So I would say you analyzed complex data sets using R to provide actionable insights to clients. I think that's like a nicer way of wording that. Created data visualizations and reports for effective communication. For effective communication, so if you were using these charts in meetings and stuff, I would say, you created data visualizations for meetings or presentations, kind of explain a little bit more the medium of the communication. If you're putting charts and data visualizations on a website, or maybe it's being published in an article, that's also, it's good to specify.
Or even if it's right
now it's a little ambiguous.
For slideshows, that works as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Collaborated with clients to define project goals and scope. That's actually good. That's could you reword that?
I honestly I wouldn't have reworded any of these. The actual content of this section, not bad. Implement machine learning algorithms for predictive modeling. Fair enough. Maybe mention
I would just specify what
algorithms.
Tool.
Yeah, what tools. Yeah. Developed accurate predictive models for data-driven decisions. Perfectly acceptable. The content here is good. Your formatting and attention to detail up here will mean that no one ever gets to this content. And that I got to be honest. I thought that the rest of it was going to look like this, but this section, frankly, looks fine. You really are burying the lead with this resume, and hiring managers are going to look at the top, and they're never going to make it to the bottom, and they're going to think you're incompetent. And I feel bad to say that, but that's the way it is. As a hiring manager, I would have already thrown out this resume. Wouldn't have thrown it out, but I would have. This looks really bad.
My running score is up to hell too now because these bullet points are actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And the body of work, the subject of work is also great.
Yeah.
Software developer intern. Okay, again, formatting on the header, but that's already been said. Collaborate with a cross-functional team on PHP, Laravel, JavaScript, and SQL web applications. That's collaborated with team members. That's a good thing to say. Make that its own bullet point. If you can talk a little bit more concretely about what you were doing with Laravel and PHP, what was the nature of the applications that you were developing, or the challenges that you ran into? Were you working on the database? Were you doing unit tests, front end? Specify. Participate in code reviews and optimize existing code. How'd you optimize the existing code? If it's Laravel, I am 99.99% certain you were using with clauses or improving that godforsaken excuse for a schema mapper called Eloquent. Side note, I don't like Laravel. That's not a reflection on you. I'm just very frustrated. I have a lot of pent-up rage. Assisted in troubleshooting and debugging. Okay, so troubleshooting and debugging, were you working with clients? Were you responding to their emails, assisting them with reproducing issues, design user-friendly interfaces and navigation? There you go. Great bullet point. Up to the top.
Yeah.
Lead with that. But more detail. The block above the data science stuff, that is almost where it needs to be. This needs to trend more in that direction in terms of concrete details.
Yep.
Key projects. So,
got an e-commerce website, online buying and selling platform with product listings, shopping carts, secure payments, and reviews. I would link to that. If it's up, if it's not up, I would link to a GitHub with its code. If this was a school project or whatever, then I don't know. This doesn't really say much.
I can't tell if this is a school project, a personal project, or if this was part of the above software development intern stuff.
Yeah.
If it is, it should be in line. You should mention e-commerce there. School management system, description, technologies used. You shouldn't have to label stuff like this. It should just be implied.
Yeah.
Also, if you're making websites, it is also sort of implied they're using HTML and CSS.
Yep.
But I could take it or leave it. And
All right.
then, again, just a bit more specific. Awards and achievements, certificates, cool. Professional memberships, Google Developer Student Clubs, Contact Digital System Developers, Web Circles.
I wouldn't put in Web Circles.
I don't even know what the hell Web Circles
Wouldn't
is.
worry about it. English native speaker. Yeah. So you can do the formatting of all this and get it, instead of being nearly a page, you can get it down to this much for all of this stuff.
This also looks like line spacing of, what is this, 2.0? You could do 1.5, right, at most. I think on my resume I do 1.3.
Yeah.
And I think it looks nice.
I don't know if this is maybe I'm not in Niger and they do it differently there, but if this is the standard formatting that everyone uses, then fair enough. Ignore everything we've said about formatting. But if it's not, definitely this needs a lot of improvement.
Yeah.
I highly recommend using the Overleaf templates. Overleaf is great.
I guess no more from me.
All right, final verdict. I'm going to go with Hell 3. I would have thrown it out. All
Uh,
the copying here and putting, things that aren't programming languages in programming languages.
yeah.
That combined with claiming that you have effective written skills means that you're out. Sorry to say it, but yeah. So,
I think the freelance data science stuff, that's really, really cool. But the skill section formatting, you are blowing your leg off at the dick. Like,
yeah.
that's oof. Um, yeah, it's sorry if I ripped on it like a little bit difficult, but I'll say I do it in good faith, and the hiring managers will not be so polite. They will look at that and they'll just throw it out, and they won't tell you why.
Yeah,
They'll just
certainly.
say next. Yeah.
All right, so we got one more.
One more.
Who is this? AKA MRW. And this, there we go. We'll make this. Got a detail-oriented software engineer, backend with 5 years of experience in AWS cloud services, serverless architecture, Kubernetes, and backend development. Proficient Node.js, TypeScript, and Golang. Proven track record of delivering efficient solutions for major music distribution, tech health, and financial applications based in Warsaw, Poland.
I assume there's a bunch of names and stuff here that have been truncated.
Yeah, probably.
I love this.
Yeah, this looks good.
Right away. The summary is great. Mentioning technologies you've used, the industries you've worked in, the formatting. Oh my god.
Oh, this is way better than the last one.
Oh yeah. Maybe I'm just biased on that alone. No. I actually like the header style, all caps, the bold, the like justification of the text, the nice thick section breaks as well.
Yeah, I mean, this looks good. All right, so skills. I'm sorry.
I like that the languages are also all on the left side as well, followed by the technologies, and they all kind of sort of logically group. So,
So Node, TypeScript, Go, Git, unit testing, Agile, REST, GraphQL, Terraform, AWS, Kubernetes, Postgres. Yeah, I don't mind it. Maybe put in something indicating how much experience you have in each one. Real separate it out.
like, I think up top you say 5 years experience. That's fine. And like I said, I think Go and TypeScript, they kind of go hand in hand because, well, Go doesn't really have a great front end story unto itself.
Yeah.
Employment history, senior software engineer, back end. This, you know what? That was a Freudian slip. You know why? Because this seems like a senior engineer's resume, at least so far.
5 years
This
experience.
maybe a little bit verbose, but
Yeah.
this.
All right. Developer for backend iOS application responsible for the streaming audio with music for major music distribution company. Leverage Terraform for IaaC and TypeScript for backend implementation. Kubernetes configuration was done in YAML file format. Wouldn't say.
Wait. You first.
I wouldn't put in that the configuration was done in YAML. I can understand saying that just so you get YAML in as one of the keywords if a robot's parsing it, but most Terraform is done in YAML, Terraform is done in YAML, but Kubernetes stuff is done in YAML.
Yeah,
excuse me.
it's all YAML.
Yeah, it's YAML or JSON, and if you know another serialization format, who cares?
Oh, I see what's going on here. Okay.
Yeah, they've cleared out the names in the thing. IaaC, what does that mean? Do you mean IaaS, infrastructure as a service? No, that's not right. IaaC. What the hell is IaaC? So we got to figure that out. Otherwise,
infrastructure as a code or infrastructure as code.
Okay. Yeah, it took a second. Hiring manager may not be that charitable. They may not take that long to read it.
The proper abbreviation is IAC. Capital I, lowercase a, uppercase C.
Or just say infrastructure as code. Honestly, that's completely unambiguous. Let's see. Manage the
Yeah.
deployments, services, cron jobs, and listo configuration inside the EKS cluster. I wouldn't say I would just say manage deployment services, cron jobs, and listo configuration inside an EKS cluster. It's a little English thing. I'm not so mad at anything else in there.
Postgres or PostGRE SQL. I can never pronounce it right.
PostgreSQL.
Running inside AWS RDS cluster in VPC used as database. Okay, so I get the detail you're going for there. But did you pick Postgres? Or was that your choice? Or because right now it's not really. It doesn't say much about you. It's almost just a bullet point that's an implementation detail of the project. If that was a conscious choice you made, and that netted you benefits, then that's the way you want to orient the language.
Yeah, you could say like implemented PostgreSQL or designed PostgreSQL database, implementation, whatever. Or if you were just on the team, then you can say you manage the PostgreSQL.
Mm-hmm.
Strategically employed AWS MSK, significantly optimizing endpoint performance, reduce request time from approximately 1 second to under 80 milliseconds on average. I
don't know what
that.
MSK is, but
I assume it's something AWS MSK. Yeah, the AWS. I think the AWS names for things are stupid.
Oh,
and what?
It is Amazon Managed Streaming for Apache Kafka.
Oh, yeah, you can't write all of that out, so I'm not even mad that you say AWS MSK. No, this looks like a good bullet point. What the design and deployment?
I would say you reduce request time from. You can just do a tilde instead of writing out approximately. Tilde 1s to less than symbol 80 milliseconds on average by strategically employing AWS MSK. Yeah. So leading with value add. And then if you say all that, you don't have to say that you significantly optimize endpoint performance because that is implied by the fact that you cut it down a magnitude.
Yeah, you get this bullet from 2 lines to 1. That's good.
Yeah.
All right.
I was about to say, was it a magnitude? Yes. Yes, it is.
More than a magnitude on average.
More than a magnitude. You're right.
Led the design and deployment of a microservices architecture inside EKS cluster, ensuring improved scalability and fault tolerance for the application. This is worded weirdly. Led design and deployment of, I'd say led design and migration to a microservice architecture.
And also, this is again a bullet point that should be, I feel like, closer to the top. Although, I guess describing a microservice, it's a little non-specific, but yeah, like this should be towards the top, right? Because that's like what you did, and then now in retrospect, everything else above looks like implementation details of this. So yeah, or like not implementation details. That's the wrong word.
Something downstream
it's
from it. Yeah.
Supplementary accomplishments to that.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe this happens a lot because people write that out as no, that doesn't even make sense. Why would they go up? Forget that thought. Engage in close collaboration with client development teams, leading technology assessments and ADRs. I don't know what ADRs is.
Architecture design reviews.
Gotcha.
It's a corporate thing.
Just
definitely say architectural design reviews instead of ADRs.
And also make that the second bullet point.
Yeah. No. Yeah, make that the second bullet point. Definitely move that up. Yeah. All right. Develop backend for iOS application responsible for fetching a user respiratory rate from respiratory rate data from a third-party Bluetooth device and calculating user wellness score based on results. I'm not mad at that. Leverage AWS CDK for IAAC. Again, IAAC. AWS CDK. Again, AWS has weird names for things, so I don't mind the CDK thing, but it's annoying. I just don't really like AWS stuff. AWS Amplify for GraphQL schema creation and TypeScript for backend implementation. The rest of this is fine.
What partner with domain experts and a Fortune 500 software company. Um, That's worth mentioning. What kind of gets me here is the structure of the resume. Like, I don't know if there's. I assume this is all for one job title, and you kind of
I
have the
think it's
same.
for different jobs, but he's just crossed them out.
Gotcha.
Following.
Um, if this
Because
is all for the
you wouldn't
same
have one
job,
job where you're doing
then
respiratory rate data and pension schemes. So it's definitely, I think this is just redacted.
if you're doing contract work, this is very likely.
That too.
Because if you're a fucking contractor, you get thrown on projects like this, and you just work on it for like a year or 18 months, and then it's like, okay, it's implemented, we're done, we're taking this internal, bye.
Yeah.
You know, so you end up switching a lot.
Yeah.
How you structure that, I don't know what the best way to do it is, but maybe something a little better than this.
Yeah.
Um, you could almost take all of these sentences that you're heading things with and just make them bullet points, and maybe leave a space between them.
It makes a lot of sense. Otherwise, the
Um,
content of this, not super bad. What did you do when you partnered with the domain experts to accomplish some task, I assume? Maybe put that in there.
and also reverse these 3 bullet points.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
All right. Develop backend for 2 applications using AWS. One is responsible for the calculation of client and employees' pension schemes. The second is an application for support team of the client. If you did 2 applications, put on 2 lines. Maybe make those 2 different bullet points. Leverage AWS CDK for IAC and TypeScript for backend implementation. Again, this is clunky, and there's probably a better way to do that. But otherwise, saying that you use TypeScript for it is fine. Maybe you could say, maybe you could combine the TypeScript aspect with the new bullet points made from the pension scheme calculation and the support team thing. Build 2 AWS-backed applications. Well, you already said that. You already made it a bullet point. So get rid of this part up here, and then make a bullet point for the client, for the scheme calculations, one for the client support teams. Champion the development of the pension calculation feature and ensure efficient inter-backend communication using cross-account IAM roles in AWS SNS.
You know what? I love it. I love champion development.
Yeah, you can put that right underneath the bullet point where you talk about the pension application thing. That'll do it.
I didn't lead development. Lead? Get out of here. I'm a champion. Yeah.
Oh, you might be a leader, but I'm actually a champion. Adopted an event-driven architecture utilizing Aus, Skis, Aus, Snis, and Aus Event Bridge. That looks gross to me, but I know what it means, and hopefully your hiring manager does too. So I'm not even mad at that. It's just like weird, but I don't know there's much to fix it.
Wait. Is this the second role?
This is the third role.
Or
wait, what? The full stack developer thing. What? I don't know what this is about. This is creating multiple websites in React for in-house or marketing needs. Oh, you know what? This makes sense. This could be yeah, as long as this line above here that's missing indicates that you're working for a contracting firm and these are the different clients you had, totally fine.
If there's a whole bunch of stuff here that has been truncated to make this all fit on one page in the full stack developer role,
we truncate a little bit more above and then add in some more full stack developer stuff.
Yeah. You could also go on to 2 pages. Like, I think that you're in the territory of earning it. I know that we philosophically may not agree on this, but like the content here is all good. if it could be made a little bit more concise with some like copy editing, but yeah, no, this is like
To that I say, this is a resume that has gotten me all the way into management, and
as a back end Go developer and back end Go developer and back end Go developer.
it includes my my current position, and it's all one page. And I could expand this out, but like, come on, for what?
Yeah.
So I'm just staring at my resume. It's beautiful. Anyway,
it is a nice Overleaf template. Overleaf, please sponsor us.
It is a great Overleaf template made possible by the folks over at Overleaf. Overleaf, we love you. Please sponsor me, Overleaf. I should actually reach out to them and ask for a sponsorship. I always say this in the stream. No one from Overleaf watches my stream. Unless you do, in which case, hit me up. npmail@gmail.com. Actually, I need to stop using my personal Gmail for everything. Nathaniel at npmail.com. Stream at npmail.com. Also emails that work. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Certificates. Yeah, you got certificates. Very cool.
Which is like...
What?
It's just like, here's all this stuff built top to bottom with AWS. By the way, I'm AWS certified, if that really matters to you.
Yeah, who would have thought?
Which it shouldn't, because there's obviously like so much practical application here.
Yeah.
Don't have to get rid of it. It's just, I thought it was funny. It's just like...
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about certificates. I don't do certificates. I don't have certificates. I don't care for certificates, but it's neat if you have them. And they're here. That's cool.
This is like, maybe not quite like this, but someone's like, oh yeah, I built a fusion reactor. Oh, by the way, I have a degree in physics.
Yeah, it's like, okay,
by the way,
bearing the lead. Like... Yeah. Anyway, so I think this is pretty decent. A couple of tweaks, and it'll be really good.
Yeah.
Based on all this, I'd say Heaven won.
There wasn't really much feedback we had other than just like restructure some of the sentences, reorder some of the bullet points. I'll say Heaven 1.5.
Okay, being generous. I still don't like, this is a little funky to me.
It justifies once you read into it. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, that, if I recall, I think I've got through all of them. I think we're good. We got Chig Beef. We got, who is this? We got Charles. We got Coyote. We got Hash Rate. We are free.
It was a quiet night.
Yeah, quiet night. Couldn't get anyone live to discuss with us. But if you're out there and you see it and you have a resume, make sure to join the Nate Stream Discord, linked on all my platforms. If you're watching this, the link to npmail.com is not far.
Also,
join the Discord, drop your resume on the resume review channel. It'll be fantastic.
Give us your resumes in an editable format so we can fuck with it on stream.
Helpful.
Yeah, and be here.
Yeah, being here is helpful. Some people, are out of the country, out of the time zone. But if you're in a time zone where you're awake at stream time, we'd love to have you on. It makes it a lot easier to discuss, get some more understanding, and then help you reword things on the resume. Otherwise, have a nice day. Moose, anything else?
Nope. Have a good evening.
All right, good stuff.